Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to The Medium by Design. Today, we have another addition to the comedian family. Don Rickles has a couple of messages that I received. One was a few years ago, probably shortly after he passed, and then I have a much deeper one that he got into. So let me just read the first one. It's kind of short, and you see what you think. So I just welcomed Don Rickles and gave him a blessing, and he says, "Wow, hello there. God, was I blessed, and now this? You are a hoot. They never told me about this." I should start by saying I was a totally into God guy. I believed and gave thanks for many things to whoever I believed could hear me. Now, however, I realize there is so much more. As I wait for my wife to join me, I'm excited to share so much that I have discovered. Let's talk about life, my life. I knew some of the most outstanding people. I was received at some of the most prestigious galas. I was heard, listened to, respected. I cannot imagine a better life. And in truth, I was just expressing anything I wanted. I held back only slightly and only seldom. You are a naturally funny guy too. Don't ever put down that trait. Making people laugh is a talent and gift, and I believe a necessary part of life. We can lift up anyone no matter where they are in that moment. Jerry Seinfeld knew this, or knows this also. You truly can go much further than you can understand or see. I haven't seen all of these people or angel beings, hanging around anyone else yet. I mean it. You have a team working with you, on you, to help you know and understand so much more than I ever did. I can only help you with the mundane life because that is where I shined light and reached some level of success. Also, in knowing how to handle people. I got good at that. Honesty and humor were my tools for good relations. I could tell you so many stories of how I turned circumstances around, even mediated between two people not speaking to one another. You see, there is even a healing and practical side to humor. We take the stubborn, absurd ideas and shatter them right out of someone's mind to make them literally see the light and change thinking. You will notice this more and more as you work intimately with individuals and groups. You truly are blessed beyond your wildest dreams. Don't ever let these quiet down times get to you. Everyone has them to different degrees, unless you are a Superman constantly flying around with unlimited energy. Let's face it, that's not realistic and not healthy. Breaks are meant to happen to rest, think, share with loved ones. Family is more important than success, but success helps take care of family. That was the first one, and it, like I said, it was very short and sweet. But this one, the next one, he gets deeper, and this one I'm really glad I was guided and inspired. And this is not that old. This is just a few months. So this is in 2021, this message. And I'm going to read, let me go through the intro because I don't remember how I got inspired again. So this is from August 2021, so not that long ago from this recording. Don Rickles was on my mind this morning. I found his first message and thought it would be fun to write again from him. Don, I would love to hear from you again. And that was it. So basically, he was on my mind, which happens a lot. They come back. I write a message, and then years later, they come back again. I just feel this prodding, I guess you would say. So here's what he had to say. And this one, we're going to take our time with this because he gets a little deeper. He's a little funny, but he does get deeper. So Don starts out with, and of course I'm crying because I love these people. So he says, "What is it with you and the crying? For God's sake, get a grip. This is life. We live. Hopefully we touch a few people. Have some memorable life experiences, then we die. It's pretty simple. All kidding aside, you know how grateful I was for my life and the endless opportunities that were given to me over the years. I also wasn't kidding when I thanked the audience on Craig Ferguson's show. I was grateful and sometimes astonished at the welcomes I received later in life. Those were moments I would never forget. So what is it you asked me here for again? You really think I have something to add to your string of these messages? Well, I hope you can understand how much the world needs humor now. I was never really involved in world affairs. I kept a peripheral interest, but did not use many headlines in my act. Occasionally, but not as a rule. From this side of the life experience, things are experienced quite differently. We see so much more simultaneously. What I mean by that is we don't have to think or analyze as much. We just know things. We know what's going on and often understand why it is happening and why people are doing what they are doing. We know the reasons behind what you guys are experiencing. As I said, I was not into world affairs to the point that many are today. I believe that's how I kept my own sanity. This is very interesting because I've been saying this on video for a while, to turn away from things that have no concern for us. Or we have no concern for, really. I also had a lot of love in my life with my wife and family, and also all the associations I had. Loving people, humanity, was a big part of my success. You can hear my biting one-liners, but no, I never meant any harm to a single soul. I wish this was the case in the world on a larger scale today. There still seems to be too many disgruntled souls living to cause havoc for the rest of you. Although I might understand some of the underlying reasons for this behavior, it still seems like such a waste of time when there are so many other experiences one could have and truly enjoy the fruits and joys of life. Nice advice there. There will always be ups and downs in life. Please don't let any of the current human activities get you down, especially if you have nothing to do with it. Remember, your peace of mind is up to you. Don't let your peace be disturbed by other disturbed individuals. The time for enjoying your life is right now, where you are, not some moment in the future when all this shit is worked out. Who knows how long that'll take? I love that because I've been struggling with that through this COVID thing, with the emotions up and down and not sure where life is going. I mean, I always lived in the uncertainty. I really never know where my career is going. I don't know. You know, I have loose plans, but especially, I've had to throw them away numerous times in life, but especially during this COVID thing, I've had to throw a lot of things away and just hope for the best, basically. And he's right. We should try to enjoy where we're at. And my friend Martha said that on the phone the other day. She says, you really got to find your joy, because I kind of lost it the last 3 weeks. I know, Salvatore, you have written for many others that can teach and share information that would have been way above my head while alive, and that I don't follow much now that I am here. I would, however, like to touch on one point that I feel is profoundly important for people to pay attention to. That is this current moment. I might never have said live in the moment, but I can definitely share that with you guys now. Now more than ever, it is very important to pay attention to how things are in the moment and then make quick adjustments and changes to improve whatever needs improving as quickly as possible. This is funny because this is on one of my more current writings that I just did a video on. I think it's the commentary after the last Galactic Federation Jesus message. I think I spoke about this. This sounds very familiar to me. So it's just kind of interesting how we get repeat and overlaps in these messages. So let's just go back. Now more than ever, it is very important to pay attention to how things are in the moment and then make quick adjustments and changes to improve whatever needs improving as quickly as possible. In other words, clean up your act. I mean it. Stay focused on whatever is in front of you that needs attention now. Whether a simple task, helping a friend, clearing a miscommunication, whatever it is, clean it up as quickly as possible. You guys have no time to waste. Even more so than when I was alive. Now that's another interesting thing about time and when he was alive and how he dealt with time and what he sees with time now. Why do I speak on such things now? Because I'm getting an understanding of some of the things that are happening worldwide for the plain and simple reason to get humanity more engaged with itself. Very wise line there. You never thought you'd hear me say this, did you? When I said engaged, I mean caring more deeply for each other. Years ago, many of us looked at things, situations, other human experiences, and just assumed, well, that's the way it is. And I know this may sound like a cop-out, but I feel there is much more urgency to help now, to try and be the best and do the best in every situation, no matter how small. I know for the most part I did this, but now see I could have done much more. No regrets, just a bigger understanding of our role when we are alive. I love that comparison to what he knew when he was alive. Now he sees things differently, has a deeper understanding. He's willing to share it with us. I really appreciate those insights. Jews are a funny lot. You know I make fun of everyone, including Jews. We don't like confrontation, and many of us are focused on making material success, but you may not know that we, from a very deep place, do want peace on earth. We understand the strife in the world and the need for some to keep people fighting. I believe that as a subculture of the human race, Jews in general would like to see world peace. I may be speaking out of line or overgeneralizing, but I believe I am close to the mark on this one. I hope that more people will see some of the greater issues facing the world today, or should I say being exposed to the world today, and make their mark to change history. Listen to this. Here's a funny realization. You are each making history right now. Oh yes, each of you is creating your history and a piece of the world, human history, right now. You'll see when you were over here, you'll see everything when you were over here, especially those things you missed while you were there. I wish you all a healthy and prosperous life. God bless each and every one of you. And by all means, keep up the laughs. There's no harm in laughing once in a while. Love to you all, Don. So that's our blessing from Don Rickles. Really a great soul, very misunderstood by today's culture. It's just very interesting when you look at someone from that era. And in interviews, they said, how do you get away with what you said to people? And he says, because there's nothing behind it. There's no insult behind what I'm saying. So this is a very important piece that you may not understand from what you see people giving out. And unfortunately, this new generation of political correctness and being offended by every word that somebody says, unfortunately, they don't get it. Because you can go behind the words and you can see the intention, feel the intention, know the intention behind people's words. I see it with people on YouTube all the time. I see who the phonies are. I see people projecting what they think they want to project with no heart, no sincerity. There's a lot of people still doing that, right? And the one thing about Don Rickles is the surface words, if you take the words themselves, they seem very biting and mean and, nasty. But when you feel into Don Rickles and what he really is there to do, he's making us laugh at everything and every culture and every nuance and every generalization, or what's the other word we use when we talk about a group and we overgeneralize? Oh, what's that word? I don't know. There's a phrase for that. I can't find it right now, but he does that. Stereotype. There we go. Stereotype and stereotypical characterizations of groups, right? And he did that, right? And again, there's a huge difference when someone says something with the emotion, the negative emotion behind the words. But when he's out there, his intention is so strong, and you can go back and watch him, and you might cringe sometimes at things he said, but, and there's a good example of this. He did a roast where Nipsey Russell was at. Nipsey Russell, of course, another great comedian of the 60s era, 60s, 70s. And, you know, Dean Martin, it was a Dean Martin roast. I don't know if they were actually roasting Dean Martin, but Rickles did kind of cross a line there, and Nipsey got a little snippy. But again, Nipsey Russell also, you know, wouldn't, you know, he would bite back in the moment, and then it's forgotten, it's gone. There's no hatred, because Don Rickles didn't have any hatred, you know. So, you know, if you could remember some of this when you're viewing whatever you're viewing, and try to get beyond the words and get into the energy that's being projected, you'll get a totally different message than what the words are saying. And that's where we want to go. Remember, I'm talking about innate gifts that humanity has had and then has lost. So being able to read between the lines, feel between the lines, sense the intention of the person, that's an innate human trait. If you don't want to use it and you just want to rely on your mind and just the words that are being spewed at you, you're going to miss a huge part of the message that's really being shared. Because let's face it, most people don't have a good handle of the English language anyway, especially today. Just look at all the misspellings of words online. Stuff is just flying out of them. You have to get to their deeper meaning and their intention behind it, because if you just go for the face value, let's face it, humanity looks pretty stupid in general. And we don't want to stay in that thought. We want to see the best of humanity. We want the intelligence to rise up. We want people to share quality, intelligent, wisdom-filled things. Of course, that's not what we're getting, and that's why we have to be discerning, and we have to, you know, move past a lot of the things that are being projected out there now. So, anyway, I think that's enough on this topic for today, and I hope you enjoyed Don Rickles. I know I love him to death, and he makes me cry every time I focus on him, you know, but of course a lot of them do. And you know why that is? It's because I feel this tremendous connection to all of these people and beings. And this is why I'm emotional, because the love that they bring to me is so much higher and purer than the love sometimes that I witness or the lack of that I'm part of in this world. And it's just very interesting to observe all this stuff. But as Dolores Cannon says, and I am working on another Dolores Cannon message, you know, as she says, you know, you do this work and then just go about your life business. And so I'll be sharing some more videos on what my life's business has been, you know, that I put in front of me, the projects and things. But on that note, if you got anything from this, please like it. You know, if you think it's good stuff and you want to subscribe, great. Share this stuff. If you think there's something good here and someone pops in your head, you know, do it organically. If somebody pops in your head when you're watching one of my videos, then send it to them, because there's probably some kind of intention from the universe that's prodding you to do something. And my advice now is follow through on those proddings. You know, share this stuff. I think it's great stuff. I'm sure for some, there's all kinds of reactions. But, you know, this is my life. This is a big part of my life. I have to do it. This is what I am here to do. One of the things I'm here to do. as an old soul. So again, do what you think is right and take what resonates and what lifts you up and makes you feel good about yourself. And if there's anything that is in this stuff that reminds you need to let go, that's great too, because we're doing a lot of letting go through this huge transition. And then, of course, there's the PayPal button. If you want to surprise me, great, surprise me. If you want something personal, if you want a personal reading session, astrology reading, a writing, if you like these writings, I do this for individuals, and they're profound too. And by the way, I am going to start sharing individual messages that I have done for other people, because they will touch many people too. Because remember, as I said in another video, whatever we're going through, there's at least 1 million people on the planet going through the same thing in the same moment. Now, I coined that years ago, but I know it's absolutely true, because we're not alone. And one person doesn't have to go through some kind of transition completely alone. As a matter of fact, I think I said that because if 1 million people are clearing something at the same time, it helps move that energy along and out of the human condition. And I can give you simple examples to that, from coming from non-belief and moving into belief about something and making that thing real. So here's a fun example. I'm an Aries and I like cars, right? So years ago, power windows, power steering, power brakes, power seats, those were new ideas at some point in our history. They were new ideas. So the narrow-minded would say, oh, that's more to break. It's just more that we have to maintain, and it's going to break. Okay? That's old, very old, non-belief attitude, right? Now, I don't know the actual statistics, so please don't, kill the messenger, but I would say there's more than 50, 60, 70% of cars have power windows, power brakes, and power steering. I haven't seen a modern car without power brakes or power steering. So you can see how we do evolve, whether we believe in evolving or not. Things are going to continue to move forward, and blessings and technology are going to continue to come forth through inventors, through teams, creative teams, and we are going to either receive those benefits or reject them. So the people that, when all that new stuff came out years ago, and especially the men, oh no, don't give me power brakes. Don't give me power steering. Oh no, don't put the power windows or power locks. It's just going to be more for me to fix and things to break. Well, I got news for you. My daily driving car is 17 years old, and the power windows have never broke. And the power brakes have never had a problem. And I do have a problem with the power steering. There is a little problem with the steering. But 17 years old, 140,000 miles. So am I going to worry about future maintenance when I could be enjoying power brakes and power steering and power windows for 17 years? Can you see how illogical we are as a race and how stupid we can be? If you can bless me for 17 years and somewhere down the line it's going to break, so be it. Would you do without a refrigerator? Would you like a nice new reconditioned ice box in your kitchen where you have to put ice in it every so many hours? I mean, just think of this stuff and think, the one thing I would leave you with is gratitude. Look at how far many things have come that have made our lives so easy. Now, there's an argument here too, and there's a debate. Well, if you make it too easy, we're going to lose drive, and we're not going to do anything. We're going to get lazy. Like the movie Wall-E. Remember that animation movie Wall-E? That's an interesting concept about where humanity's going. And yes, I'm sure some people might be going in that direction. But the truth is that by taking difficult things off our plate, such as the idea that we're only here to survive. Here's another really good example. If we as a human race get up every day with only the idea, I have to survive today, that's going to take a lot of our time. and a lot of our creative force. We can't hold on to that much longer. There's no reason that many more people can't thrive. We have more than enough of everything here. And thriving is why I'm alive. I want to keep thriving. You know, most people can survive. Just look at all the homeless people. They're surviving and they don't have any responsibility. So, you know, survival, I don't think we need to master survival anymore. I think that we're done with that. We know how to survive. I think we need to move on to other things and realize that each of us has more important things to do, more creativity to bring, more joy to have, more love to share, you know, more thoughts to talk about, or whatever your thing might be. So anyway, just a few things to think about. I hope you're having a wonderful day whenever you find this video. I hope Don Rickles touched you deeply as he does me. And remember, there's always more to come for as long as I'm breathing on the Medium by Design.